Welcome back to Faith Talks, where we explore faith in everyday life, one conversation at a time. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Mike. And today's episode is centered on one of the most powerful truths of Christianity, the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
That's right, Mike. Today we're reflecting on a sermon titled He is Risen by Pastor Kyewoon Choi. His text is from Luke 24, where the women visit the tomb and find it empty. What's striking about Luke's account is that, unlike the others, no one sees the risen Jesus in the moment. They only hear the witness of the angels.
Exactly. Which fits the theme of the sermon so well, belief through testimony. Pastor Choi challenges us with the same thing those early believers faced. Will we believe without seeing?
You know, Mike, Pastor Choi shares this personal story from his seminary days. He had a professor who didn't believe in the bodily resurrection of Christ because science couldn't prove it.
That blew me away. I mean, you expect a seminary professor to affirm core truths like the resurrection, right?
Totally. But it highlights something Pastor Choi wrestled with early on, and that many people still struggle with today. He even said that moment shifted him from New Testament studies to Old Testament studies. That's how shaken he was.
But that's the power of the resurrection. It has to be more than provable data. It touches our yearning. Pastor Choi lost his dad when he was a child. And even then, he felt that longing for something beyond the grave. He wanted to see his dad again. That's a human ache. Resurrection speaks to that deep hope.
One of my favorite parts was when Pastor Choi talked about why God didn't offer scientific proof. Instead, he chose witnesses, angels and people.
Yeah, and he referenced C.S. Lewis, too. Lewis said he believed in New York City not because he'd been there, but because trustworthy people told him about it.
That really hit home for me. We believe so many things based on testimony. So why does resurrection feel different?
Because it defies our logic. But like Pastor Choi said, the apostles believed not because they were naturally inclined to. It took appearances, patience, grace. Some even died for that belief.
And Jesus never forced belief. Even now, he honors our free will. He invites us to believe through the testimony of those who saw, touched, and followed him, even to death.
There's also such tenderness in how Jesus handles doubt. Pastor Choi reminds us that the women brought spices for a dead body. They didn't expect a resurrection.
Right. They forgot. But what does Jesus do? He meets them. He reveals himself. Not with scolding, but with grace and patience.
And the same goes for doubting Thomas. The Lord doesn't shame him. He shows up, wounds and all.
So, if you're listening and you're skeptical or struggling to believe, know this. Jesus isn't put off by your doubt. He meets sincere seekers. That's the promise.
Here's what stood out to me in the conclusion. Pastor Choi reminds us that resurrection is presented, but never forced. God leaves the decision in our hands.
And if you're a sincere seeker, God honors that. But it requires a step. Will you believe the witness? Will you receive the hope?
He closed with those powerful words from the angels. Why do you seek the living among the dead? He is not here. He has risen.
Amen. Christ is risen. And because of him, we have the hope of our own resurrection too.
Thanks for joining us today on Faith Talks. If today's conversation stirred something in your heart, whether faith, doubt, or hope, we'd love to hear from you.
And hey, don't forget to subscribe and share this episode with a friend who might need a little Easter hope this week.
Until next time,
He is
He
risen.
is risen.
He is risen indeed.